Good evening. First of all, I just want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank Lisa and Paul for creating this event, for creating a business that is truly for the earth, for the green heart, which is the color of the heart chakra. And you know, a lot of people want a lot of numbers and a lot of people and everything. It's not about numbers right now. It's about showing up authentically, each of us, wherever you can. So last night I went to an event. My friend Michael Goldstein just got back recently from Standing Rock, and he did a report back. And at the house of, are any of you familiar with Joanna Macy's work? So it was at her house, and she is the woman that really conceived the idea of calling this time the Great Turning, and how we are turning into a new world and a new time. So one of the things that Michael emphasized is that among the native people, there's a felt connection to the ancestors, a deep knowing of their presence, their wisdom, and their stories, and their support on a visceral level. The people know that this is yet another rising tide welling up over 500 years to throw off the oppression and end the occupation of this land. It is the lack of the rooted link with the power of the land and the ancestors that drives white folks like us to want to plan and use the rational mind to act and to make decisions. The indigenous see strength and hope in prayer, dreams, visions, and the willingness to serve the forces of life and love. They honor that there's a mystery at work that exceeds the limitations of our logical mind. In a way, it can actually be greatly liberating to surrender to forces beyond our control, to give up guilt and shame and be open to being guided. White folks are being schooled in the ways and laws of nature at Standing Rock, the power of prayer, of speaking truth from the heart, and the practices of drumming, dancing, singing, and dreaming to gather power. We do not need to know how it will happen that we succeed. We need to reroot ourselves in the natural order of existence, to know that life is resilient. Love is the only force that can conquer hate. Hate is just the bodyguard of fear. So, do we get it now? We did not heal or cure the problem after World War II. America went home and stopped talking about it. We went to sleep in a consumer coma if we were white and middle class, or were silenced if poor, and people of color, women, LGBTQ, and all oppressed people. The 60s broke it open, then the backlash. And now is our chance to free ourselves. There can be no working with the sad and vicious voices we are hearing. We will need to be self-vigilant, not to become so outraged and reactive that we throw ourselves on the machinery as it grinds to a halt. Intelligent love is our aspiration, non-compliance our stance, and fierce refusal to let white supremacy be normalized. So what I'd like to share with you tonight, of course, is this. But I just was looking through what to read tonight, and I found the copy of Maya Angelou's inaugural poem. I hope that at the Women's March, this could be read, because this poem is brilliant. I had the honor of meeting Maya before she passed. I used to do readings at Fisherman's Wharf, and she was walking by and she looked at me and said, "You're on." She sat down, and it was just shortly after the inauguration. I said, "Maya, before we do this, I have to tell you that I think you spoke more truth than has ever been spoken at a government function in these United States." And I said, "You know, I really mean that." And she said, in that deep baritone, "I know you do." And this is one of the highlights of my life, to have been able to honor her This poem is going to blow your mind because it is perfect for right now. On the pulse of morning, a rock, a river, a tree, host to species long departed, marked the mastodon. No, I don't even need this, do I? I'm just going to turn it off and start over and go with it. How's that sound? I'm walking on my flag. Okay. On the pulse of morning, a rock, a river, a tree, host to species long departed, marked the mastodon, the dinosaur who left dry tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today, the rock cries out to us, clearly, forcefully, come. You might stand upon my back and face your distant destiny, but seek no haven here in my shadow. I will give you no hiding place down here. You, created only a little lower than the angels, have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have laid too long face down in ignorance, your mouths spilling words armed for slaughter. The rock cries out to us today. You stand on me, but do not hide your face. Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. It says, come, rest here by my side. Each of you, a bordered country, delicate and strangely made proud, yet thrusting perpetually under siege, your armed struggles for profit have left collars of waste upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast. Yet today, I call you to my riverside, if you will study war no more. Come, clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and the rock and the river were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you yet knew, you still knew nothing. The river sings and sings on. There's a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African, the Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the Sikh, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher, they all hear the speaking of the tree. They hear the first and last of every tree speak to humankind today. Come to me here beside the river. Plant yourself beside me here beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some passed-on traveler, has been paid for. You gave me my first name, you Pawnee, Apache, Seneca, you Cherokee Nation, who rested with me, then forced on bloody feet, left me to the employment of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Arab, the Swede, the German, the Eskimo, the Scot, you, the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Kru, bought, sold, stolen, arriving on a nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, reroot yourself beside me. I am that tree planted by the river, which will not be moved. I, the rock, I, the river, I, the tree, I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived. But if faced with courage, need not be lived again.
Lift up your eyes upon this day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Woman, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands. Mold it into the shape of your most private need. Sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here, on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out and upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country, no less for Midas than the mendicant, no less for you now than the mastodon then. Here, on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's face and into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, with hope, good morning.
So do you agree with me that that was probably the most truth ever told? I mean, no one else ever told the history totally like she did, honoring everyone and still giving us hope, always hope. That was Clinton's first inauguration. He didn't ask her back. But, you know, so it goes. So this other poem, since that is our ancestor on the other side, I'm going to read a poem from my daughter, who's here, not here tonight, but wrote this poem that I feel gives us great hope. Other forces are reaching in to protect us, all of us. She, he, it has not left us alone to kill and cry and beat our breast at the hopelessness of it all. There is only hope. And the momentary loss of it only brings us closer to its source. Depression is only a longing for hope. So rage, cry, crash, and fly again. The wings are there. Those swords of uncertainty dance in our mind. The heart opens wings ever wider. Remember the force that pulled you, drifting from formless to breath? It has not left you. That is only your star, which you ever orbit, getting closer and then retreating, so you can feel the active force of longing again. Spirit refuses to let you be lazy in your reverent love. She is holding us delicately with unquestioned strength. He is singing to us in the song of all tones. Spirit is shining ever stronger now. Though the dramatic tide has crashed, the ever-quiet ocean goes about its ways. Tendrils swishing, crabs lurking, the natural world singing natural ways back to life. If we continue to worship life, to pray to it, to smile to it, to make jokes in her honor, we together will not tire of life. And the last thing I want to do is a little rap I wrote in honor of good food. Thank you for listening. You say it's okay, Mr. FDA, to poison my food, that's what you say. You say organic can be engineered. Well, all you were saying is virtually weird, because we know otherwise. That great big other that lives outside jail, well, goodbye, big brother, because we know you lie, and we know otherwise. Organic means pure, just the way it is. You only want it engineered and poisoned for your agro-biz. So get out of the garden if you don't know the plants, and get out of paradise if you can't dance, because we're going to have some fun now. So get off this planet or stop taking her bounty and her love for granted. Ascend, descend, go to heaven, go to hell. Just don't try to sell me any more Nike shoes made by slaves singing the Chinese blues, because I won't buy it. And here's the news. Earth, love it or leave it. The time is now, because we know otherwise. We are otherwise. prayer. And you did mention, and I just saw a video, the women are going on the bridge right now. All of us need to hold them in their hearts. They say that, you know, with this movement and everything, if the women aren't honored in the process of all this, we will have failed. So the women are there, our own priestess, witch, activist, Starhawk is there with them. The men are supporting, but not leading. And so they're ready for anything right now, and I think it's incredibly exquisite that this is happening right now, and we're with them wherever we are. We don't have to be there. And so all of you, please let other people know, hold them in your hearts, and let's do this thing. Peace, love.